Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about my productivity system and how I stay on track and how I kind of keep up on all the admin and cleaning and appointments and pretty much everything in my life, how I'm balancing everything. I've got my handy dandy notebook here, which you will see what role she plays in here. And that kind of brings me into the point of that there's a digital side to this and an analog side to this. So I'm gonna try to learn to overlay right here the digital things. I believe we're talking about something digital first, so hopefully I figure it out. But yeah, there's two sides to this. There's the digital side, which I feel like is my admin side to things. It keeps track of when everything gets done or what needs to get done. And my planner is when I plan how I'm going to get it done. So what day am I going to get it done, or tracking how I feel about that thing. So like right now in my planner, I have some things laid out for me, like boxes that I can write in how I feel about how I meal plan for the specific week, or how basically like taking notes on little experiments that I'm doing in my life. So the digital is like the admin, the planner is the like tracking aspect of the digital stuff, the reflection part. I've been thinking about adding in a second notebook to this, because right now this is the only analog thing in my system. And it's where I do like my daily journaling, or not even journaling, like my daily planning. And I do like to look a certain way, and I like to be able to navigate it in a certain way. And right now it's kind of messy. I compensated for that a little bit this month, but I think having a second planner, or not a second planner, a second notebook would be helpful to like brain dump and do like some pre-planning, which sounds crazy, but if you're a planner, I think you get it, like doing the ugly planning, the brain dump, and then putting it into like the pretty one. So this is what it is right now, and we will get into it. So the first thing that I want to talk about is an app. It's called Time Tree, and I found it kind of randomly. I needed something that I could share with my boyfriend, so we could like put in our work schedules. We could both edit the calendar. I needed something with a color code system, because I like to have a color code system to pretty much anything, whether it's, you know, the app or my planner or whatever. So I need something like that. So I was doing some research and I came across Time Tree. So hopefully I'm figuring out right now how to put my calendar up here. So I have two calendars. I have one that I share with my boyfriend and probably eventually my daughter, and one that's personal. And my personal one is really where the meat of everything is. So I track everything in there: birthdays, cleaning, when I work, appointments for me and my kiddo. Oh God, what else? Oh, I track like when I'm gonna be going to the bank to deposit money, when I'm gonna be making the grocery list and then doing the grocery shopping. Like I would be so lost without Time Tree. Sorry if I'm looking down. This is where my notebook is. But yeah, it's like my future log. So if I can put it in the calendar, it goes in the calendar. Reason this works for me so well, and it's a problem I have with analog planning, is I am not somebody who's going to rewrite these things. Like, I'm really bad about keeping track of birthdays. I'm really bad about remembering when I did something last. Like an example would be washing our bed sheets. If I write it down in an analog planner, I either don't write it down or it gets lost in the sea of planners and I just don't know. So this way I can put it in there, and then I can say, remind me every week, or like it'll pop up every week that I need to wash my sheets or whatever. I don't wash my sheets once a week. Sorry, sue me. So yeah, it's really nice because it takes a lot of that admin work away and it does it for me. I can just put in somebody's birthday and it'll be there in the next calendar, or I can put in, or like when I was in physical therapy, I could put in my appointments for every week, and I didn't have to, all I had to do was change the time. It's just great. It's easy. It does it for me. So I love that app. I'm really glad that it exists. It's got a bunch of other cute little features that I use sometimes, so you should check it out if you're a planner person. Okay, I didn't really like how I was explaining my planner, so I'm gonna start over. I feel like it's hard to predict what I'm gonna want to talk about when I'm doing my script writing, but we're gonna try again. So basically, this is my planner. Anything that I feel like needs to be handwritten goes in here. So all my to-do lists for the day, my weekly spreads, my monthly spreads, my goal work, a script writing, sometimes budgeting. Like if I feel like I can't process something in my head, like I can't think about it, it gets written down in here, which is why I was thinking about having the 2 notebooks, because it does inhibit me a little bit to have a bunch of just brain dumpy stuff in here, even if I make predetermined spaces for that in here. So that's kind of an obstacle that I'm working through, but I'm sure there will be an update to this eventually, and I'll let you know how that goes. But right now, this is the analog part of this. This is the handwriting part of my planning system. So this and my time tree app really go hand in hand, because every night, usually, sometimes morning, I get on my time tree app and I see, what am I supposed to be doing on Wednesdays? Today's Wednesday. So like, what am I supposed to be doing on Wednesdays? And so then I go over here to my dailies and I will write the date, and then what do I have to do? So like today is a budget day, and I'll write the grocery list day. And like, these are things that have to get done to keep my life moving kind of smoothly. But then, okay, so then after that, I'm like, okay, I have all my admin tasks, everything that's gonna keep my life moving. What else can I do today? So like today I did filming, and I wanna make some cookies, and I have some dishes in the sink that need hand washed. And so I kind of build off the time tree thing and then work my way through that, if that makes any sense. I feel like I'm doing a horrible job explaining how I do this stuff. But like I said, my planner is also a good spot for my weekly overviews. So this is where I would keep like my weekly tasks. These are my action steps for my goals. Like I said, I do goal work. I do a lot of meal planning in my planner, just like some random thoughts and things. I like to reflect a lot in my planner for sure, and kind of write things out that I don't want to keep in my head, because they might be important, or they might be something that I want to work on a little bit more and think about and reflect on a little bit more. So yeah, that's my planner. It's just like, I'm not somebody who can organize my thoughts digitally. I feel like digital tools for me are things that are going to do the work for me. Like I do it once and then I don't have to touch it again, or I have to touch it only like once a quarter or something. This is more like I'm in here every day working through what's going on in my crazy head. So yeah, that's my planner. I love her, and I've been really liking the digital and analog system together. So speaking of digital, I don't track habits in my planner. I've never really been good at tracking habits in my planner, because I think it's because writing out all those little numbers it feels like too much for me. And then like looking every day at all the stuff I didn't do is really disheartening. I remember when I was pregnant, I would get like 100% on my prenatal. I was really strict about that. Took my prenatal every single day, but then there would be something else below it that was like completely empty, and I completely flopped. And I wasn't really good at doing the reflection part of habit tracking. So that is where the Finch app comes in. And my boyfriend actually got me onto this. So we both have our little birds. Hopefully there's something right here, but we both have our little birds, and it's just so lovely because I don't have to worry about getting enough done. Like every single day can be different habit-wise, and I almost always hit the bar. So the way that it works is every time you check off a habit, it gives your bird like 5 energy. And then I think you have to get, once it's a full-grown bird, you have to get 35. I think it's 35 energies to send your bird on a little adventure. And it's like a game, it gamified habits for me. So that means I only have to do like 7 things each day and to be accomplished. And that really works for me. So some days are more focused on like physical health and some days are more focused on my mental health. I do have little sections in my app that I'm probably showing you right now, but it doesn't have to be the same every single day. And I really like that. It just feels like it's easier to bite off, you know, because sometimes I do really beat myself up. Like a habit I have is only getting on my social medias from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. And I'm like, oh, I didn't do that. I'm the worst. But I did, you know, 7 other things today that are really good for me. So I really like the system. This is true for, I feel like, all digital tools for the most part, but it is really easy to edit these habits. Like if I feel like something's not working, like I had access to a trail like a year ago, so I was walking every day, and so one of my habits was move your body every day. Well, now I don't have access to that anymore, so I changed it to stretching, tightened it a little bit, stretch every day. But it was so easy. I can just go in and change the name of the habit, and boom, I don't have to worry about setting up a bullet journal spread and getting halfway through the month and being like, well, I don't have, that isn't working. Like, I guess it just makes the reflection process easier. If you haven't noticed, I like to reflect. So all of these are very reflection edit friendly, especially as someone with ADHD. Like, my brain is constantly on to the next thing. And so sometimes what I think is really good in the moment isn't good like 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 months, you know, down the line. So something like that is really helpful, that I can just go in and hit the edit button. Okay, and lastly, I would say this is like the least related to productivity, but it does keep my brain empty, and this would be my reminders list on my iPhone. I have 4 main lists. 3 of them are basically the same thing, but they're different levels of each other. So this is mainly how I track spending money. So like, what am I going to spend my money on this pay period, essentially? What is most important? Like, it helps me prioritize like what, and I guess this is kind of related to planning and productivity, because it helps me plan how we're going to spend money. And I don't have to write it in my planner. It's almost like the less I have to worry about remembering, because I don't always have access to my planner. I'm so jealous of people who are able to just that can just be like, oh, I'll write it in my planner. And I don't know if they're remembering it to write it down later, or if they just have their planner on them at all times, because I can't do like a tiny little planner. As you can see, I have a giant notebook. So yeah, using some digital tools on my phone really helps me out with that, and it's not something that I have to keep in my brain all day until I can get to my planner, or, you know, for hours. So to get back on track, I have 4 main lists. 3 of them are basically the same. One of them, the first one is, and I'll pop it up here, the first one is, well, I guess I should say the first 3 are my to buy list. So what are we going to be buying? So let's say I run out of something. I run out of shampoo. It will go in one of these lists. So the first one is my green light list. So those are things that are absolute necessities. Like, we need them to be functioning human beings, and for our house, for our home, and for our bodies to function. So that goes in the green list. So that would be things like toothpaste, shampoo, parchment paper, I'm trying to think like some other non-body things. I don't know, like if someone needed a pair of shoes, that would probably come off of this list, like things that we have to have. And I would not second guess spending money on it. Like toilet paper, you have to have toilet paper. So I don't think twice about it. It goes in the green list. If it's something that I'm like, yeah, that would be nice to have, like that would enhance our lives, but we're not gonna, like our basic needs are going to be fine without this thing, then it goes in the yellow list. And the yellow list is things like a new microwave. Like our microwave is not doing too hot, but she still works and we do have a microwave, and so therefore it is not a priority and it goes in the yellow list. Or my daughter is probably going to be potty training soon, so like, yeah, we should buy a potty seat, but she's not actively doing that yet or actively ready to do it, so it goes in the yellow list. If there's some extra money, we might pick one or two things or one big thing to get off of the yellow list. And then the red list is strictly wants, strictly wish list items, like and you'll see some ridiculous things on this list, like an espresso machine and a laptop. Like those are things that I would have to save up for. This is mostly like my personal wish list. Like if someone, mainly my boyfriend, is like, hey, what do you want for your birthday? I can pull things off of this list, and it's just, and again, it's a way to keep it out of my planner. I don't have to rewrite this every time I start a new planner, because I'd be going through these puppies fast. Like my last planner I only had for like a month and a half. So yes, I keep it in here so it doesn't have to be moved over all the time. So yeah, that's the red list. It's just strictly wants. The last main list in here is the grocery list. So this isn't like what I take to the grocery store and look at. It's a little too discombobulated for me to take it into a store. But if I'm like going about my day and I'm like, oh, we're out of olive oil, I can just pop it in my phone. Again, instead of remembering for all day or for the rest of the day and then writing it down somewhere, it can just go on my phone and I can look at it later when I make the actual grocery list. So yeah, those other lists get used a little bit less. The main ones are my grocery list and then the 3 to buy list. So yeah, that's it. That's the whole system. This has been working for me for quite a while now. There's been things added and taken away, and I've like tweaked some things. Like Time Tree didn't always used to be as in depth as it is, but yeah, I really think this is helping me out. I just take some of the thinking, the decision fatigue out of it. Like I wake up on, Mondays and I know exactly what I'm going to be doing, or when I go to the store, I know exactly what I need to be buying. It just takes a lot of the decision fatigue out of it for me, and I can spend more time in this planner, reflecting and deciding, how do I want to spend my time? And what are some fun things that I want to do? What are some experiments that I want to incorporate into my life? So I'm feeling really inspired this year, planning wise. I'm really excited to see how my planning system evolves this year. And this is what's working for me right now. But like I said, I already have some tweaks that I think I want to do. So yeah, let me know what your planning system is like. Are you fully analog? How does that work for you? Are you fully digital? How does that, I know a lot of people are completely digital, and I do appreciate something about handwriting, but yeah, I would love to hear about it. And remember to like the video if you liked me, and to subscribe. I'm doing weekly uploads in Q1 of 2026, probably more, but that's one of my goals if you watch my goal video. So subscribe for more from me. And I'm sorry if I was just like bleh this video. I don't know if it's the caffeine or if I'm just off my game, but I hope you got something out of this video and you are feeling inspired in your own planning systems. And I will see you guys next time. Bye bye.